everybody, E here. Welcome back to another book review. Today we are talking about John D. MacDonald's The Deep Blue Goodbye. And I thought it would be cool if I did the video with the fog machine so it looks smoky, like a smoky bar room kind of deal. But yeah, it doesn't look that great, and I ran out of time. So yeah, if there's a little haze in here, that's why. I ain't been 420 blazing. Not right now anyways. So yeah, I started reading these for two reasons. I have Nightmare in Pink coming up next, which is the second one. This is the first in the series, by the way, the first in the Travis McGee series. So, I read these for two reasons. First off, I was writing, I was writing a book, and I finished it, sent it to my editor. My editor said, "You don't read much crime fiction, do you?" Which is, I already know. Anytime I hear something like that, it's bad. So, like, if you want to read good crime fiction, read Travis McGee, John D. MacDonald, Raymond Chandler. There's a bunch of other ones. But yeah, Mickey Spillane, all that stuff. Read those books. So I had read The Long Kiss Goodnight, or is that the movie? Anyways, I read that one. I didn't too much care for it, but then I read this one, and I absolutely fell in love with this dude. That's why I'm pointing over here because Nightmare in Pink is staring me in the face. So I read this one. What happened to PI fiction? What happened to crime fiction? There's a handful of crime authors right now doing a great job. Bo, let's see here, S.A. Cosby, there's a bunch, Gabino Iglesias to some extent, because he does supernatural stuff also. But there's good ones. But when you read the ones that are really super popular, like let's say Patterson, or there's John Sanford even, and I know people are going to go and say that the early John Sanford books were great, but I didn't like them. So that's my opinion. Sorry, it's my opinion. I didn't like John Sanford. But these are exceptional. I didn't expect such a literary flair. MacDonald has an amazing way with words, so much so that I am now seeking out all of his books secondhand because your boy's still broke. But I can afford like $1 or $2 here at the thrift store. As you can see, this thing is just utterly beat to hell. Pages coming out of it. I had to tape. I don't know if you guys can see it. I had to put tape. Yeah, you can't really see it. You kind of see it right there. But yeah, I had to tape it back together, and the other one's in pretty bad condition anyways. They cost me $0.25 a piece, and I was lucky to find them from what I understand. But yeah, this book is fantastic. Also, second reason I started reading these is because I read Holly, and I was like, this is god awful. Hopefully this isn't a good crime fiction, and it wasn't. So yeah, I'm now working my way very slowly through the John D. MacDonald books. Probably one every month or two. Like, it's going to take me a while because there's like 20 of them. 22, 24, something like that. But in this one, you get introduced to Travis McGee, and I'm going to read you what it says on the front because this is also what got me wanting to read it. Meet Travis McGee, nonconformist, boat bum, knight in slightly tarnished armor, as he sets out on a wild journey through the wreckage of a woman's soul. I also did not expect this to be as sexually graphic as it is. This is from like 1950, 60, something like that. I think it's 64 is when he started publishing these. Let's see here. They didn't really do ISBN. Yeah, 1964 is when this book was first published. And it's literally about a guy, a really, really bad dude, who pretty much brainwashes women into giving him everything, and then is sexually rough with them. I'm trying to keep the algorithm happy, and they end up just like collapsing in on themselves, especially one character in particular. Now, I also wasn't expecting to enjoy people sitting around talking as much as I did. But the dialogue in this is amazing. Even for 1964, it is amazing. I really couldn't tell that much of a difference except for some slang and whatnot. This could have been published yesterday, honestly. The writing is that good. The plotting, the pace is insane. It's absolutely crazy how quick these books fly by. And we will talk about this in Nightmare in Pink, but he goes into horror sometimes. Some really brutal, visceral stuff. Like, not supernatural horror, but he definitely goes into horror territory. I really love the character of Travis McGee. I don't think he's really an anti-hero. I think he is just a regular dude. And I think that's what people are talking about when they're talking about an anti-hero. Someone who's not perfect, someone who kind of leans to the brutal side at times when he needs to. There is, of course, this is from 1964, there's going to be misogyny, there's going to be all that stuff, but that is a time in history. Does it still exist? Yes, it does. But this was normal back then. They had billboards that saying, "Is your wife misbehaving? Bend her over her knee and give her a whooping." That kind of stuff. Literal ads telling husbands to, physically assault their wives to make them act better. There's a bunch of stuff about hysterics and hysteria, and that saying, woman's hysteria. That all that misogynistic bullshit. That definitely not a woman's lib book, definitely not feminist in any way, shape, or form, but the character is who he is, and he is unapologetically who he is. And I respect anyone who is who they are, even if you're a terrible person. As long as you own being a terrible person, you will have a modicum of respect for me. I'm not going to respect your actions. But it's like, okay, this person sees who they are self-aware enough to be, I am a horrible person. If more people were like that nowadays, it probably would be a better world because we would know who to stay away from. It's the sneaky ones that really piss me off because they tout that they're this thing and then turn around and they're this other thing. Anyways, that's rich coming from someone who's written under 14 different pen names. This guy right here. Anyways, so yeah, I don't have much more to say about this other than the ending was phenomenal. It's the only action in the entire book is at the end, but it just keeps going. One ass kicking after another, and it is great. Travis McGee is not a superhero. He is not Jack Reacher, John Reacher, whichever one. He's not Tom Cruise. He's not any of these people who, seem to go through every single book either unscathed or just slightly scratched up. Another thing is, reading these books is another reason why I thought the ending of Holly was so unbelievable. I'm not going to spoil Holly for you, but yeah, it was so well done, and it pretty much had the same, it had a captive. It was a captive scenario. Slight spoiler for Holly, but there's a captive scenario here. He can't go anywhere, and it's believable. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a huge fan of John D. MacDonald. I hate that it took me all this time. It took me 45 years to find him and start reading him, but I love this book, and if you have not read these books, you need to go back with the caveat, the disclaimer that, hey, look, there's going to be misogyny. I didn't find any racism, really. They're not any from any of the good characters anyways, so I'm not sure if there's any in later books. I don't know. But yeah, if you haven't read this, it's been out since 1964. You definitely need to unfuck that. But until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been another book review. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.